Hi everybody, Dr. Richard DiCenso here again, CEO of Matrix Transformation, author of Beyond Medicine, Exploring a New Way of Thinking, and the creator and developer of a process called the MAP, or the Matrix Assessment Profile, which by now you are probably basically familiar with. But today I want to share with you a little background about how the MAP came to be and how I developed it into what it is today. It originated actually out of my very early experiences as an intern in my initial years of training. And in that period of time, I was invited to participate in a very unique and innovative internship program at a hospital called Cedars-Sinai in Beverly Hills. And the purpose of this internship was to determine what the benefit of the various elements of alternative care actually were, whether they had any validity, whether they had any benefit, and who they would work for, how they would work, how they could be incorporated into a conventional practice. But one thing really provoked me to seek out more than just the information they gained from that particular event. And that was the fact that I saw on a regular basis two people come in with exactly the same symptoms, get exactly the same treatment, and get completely opposite results. Now, this didn't make any sense to me. There had to be something more. And so what I realized as I went through eventual trainings and various credentials and additional licensing, that everybody and everyone that was being taught from a particular perspective was looking at the same symptom as a isolated symptom through a different lens. So in other words, if you were an orthopedic surgeon, an acupuncturist, a naturopath, or any of a variety of healthcare experts, whatever the person came in with and told you they were experiencing, you immediately looked at it through the lens of your standard of care training and treated through that standard of care without taking into consideration a single question, which then provoked me to seek out more information as to why this event was happening. And the answers that I was getting were simply insufficient. They were just inappropriate, and they didn't resonate with me at all. And that answer was, well, you need more training, or some people just don't respond, or sometimes we don't know why people don't respond. These were just not going to work for me if I was going to continue in the healthcare field. And so I started to explore other venues, and what I realized is it didn't matter what my credentials were, what my licensing was, what the prism was that I was looking at these symptoms through. What was more important was it doesn't matter what the symptoms are. It doesn't matter what the disorder is. It doesn't matter what the diagnosis or the disease is. What matters far more is who the person is that's experiencing these symptoms. This is what led me to a broader view interpretation of the human matrix, which contains structure and biochemistry and the psychological and emotional components that were rarely, if ever, taken into consideration when evaluating chronic and non-responsive disorders. And so people were simply told, look, the tests are all negative. We don't know why you're experiencing this. We'll have to wait and see. You're going to have to accept this. The symptoms are normal for your age. We're going to have to run more tests. Or simply the symptoms are all in your head. None of this satisfied my desire for understanding and being able to identify what was causing the symptoms people were experiencing, why they were experiencing them, and then when I finally discovered that there were multiple realms of influence that factored into the human experience, I was able to refine each of these three realms. I was able to define 7 specific guidelines that I'm going to take you through in a series of videos over the next couple of months and show you how I interpret the results of the matrix assessment profile, and how you can use these 7 guidelines to help clarify what you may be experiencing as chronic symptoms, and then ultimately will allow us to turn your symptoms into solutions. So in the meantime, if you'd like more information about the MAP, I strongly suggest you do one of a couple of things. Either pick up a copy of my book, Beyond Medicine, Exploring a New Way of Thinking, or simply click on the link below, and it'll take you to a site that will give you a little more detail prior to me providing you with all of the videos that go into detail about every aspect of the MAP. And in the meantime, I certainly hope to see you soon as a member of the Matrix Transformation community. I'm Dr. Richard DiCenso. Thank you for watching.